Hey everybody, we're back in the garage again. We've just rolled over 500 miles with the XT, so I thought I'd give a quick review on where we are with the bike and how it's coping so far under my ownership. The first thing is I did have the service done on it. It's supposed to be like a 600 mile service. I had it done at 300. That was because it was developing an oil leak. I happened to notice an oil leak on the right hand side of the engine, mostly around the oil filter cover. So I had the service done so that they could check out, make sure the O-ring was still okay, tighten everything up, and of course put some new oil in it, which they did. I'm running a fully synthetic oil, and that's partly because it's really hot here, so good synthetic oil works well. So that was a bit of a negative for it, really. It shouldn't have leaked, but it did, and I, at that point I'd only done 300 miles. So we're at about 550 at the moment, and no more leaks. That's all been resolved. The bike, other than that, runs great, except it does seem to have an issue with the gearbox. When it's cold, it's fine. Everything works exactly as intended. But when the bike gets hot, so let's say you've been on an ADV course and you're halfway through day one, the engine's hot, you've been running it pretty much all morning, it'll start getting sticky in first gear. It won't go from first to neutral. Getting into first gear is fine. Sometimes getting from first to second can be a little sticky and it won't go. You have to tap it a few times to get it to move. It's odd. I don't know what's up with that. It's like something's right on the edge of its tolerance, would be my guess. But it's still usable. If you just have to apply a lot of pressure to get it to move. Now, I did bring this up with the dealer when I had the 300 mile service done, and they said, well, it might just be that it's new and it's sticky and you got to let it bed in. It's only done 300 miles. I mean, I'm only at 500 odd now, so it's not much more. Maybe I'll give it to 1,500 miles or maybe 3,000 miles and see if it's still doing it. But right now, I can live with it. It still works okay. And often, to be quite frank, it's too low geared. I mean, I know it's low geared for use off-road, which is great, but even off-road, my instructors were saying, why don't you just pull away in second? You'll have more control over it because it's a little glitchy on the throttle in first, a little sensitive. Much easier to use the friction zone and run it in second, which is what I've been doing, and it's been fine. On the road, when I'm using it, I go from first, as soon as the thing's moving, basically, I go from first to second. I don't rev it out in first. As soon as it's moving, I go up into second and rev it out in second. So the gearbox is maybe an issue. We've still got a question mark over that. So other than the gearbox, I had a couple of loose spokes which they tightened up for me during the service, and that's been it. I haven't had issues since. The spokes are fine, they're okay. The engine runs fine, the bike handles fine, everything works great. No issues at all as far as I'm concerned, other than potentially a gearbox issue at this point. The oil leak I don't see as an issue. I think that was just something that wasn't tightened up like it should have been. And now that that's been tightened up, oil leak is gone, so I'm not concerned about that. I am concerned a little about that gearbox. I thought that seat was going to be a problem. When I first started riding it, that seat was kind of hard, but riding it for 2 hours, the 80 miles I did down to Parker from Longmont, and then the 80 miles I did from Parker back to Longmont, didn't have a problem. My ass was just fine. The seat seems to be fine. It's a hard seat, and it's not particularly plush or anything. I mean, it's a dual sport. It's not supposed to be, but it was fine. I didn't think about it after a while. I mean, when I first started riding down to Parker, I was thinking to myself, well, this is going to suck because that seat is really hard. But quite frankly, after the first few miles, I didn't notice it anymore, and it was fine. I was trucking along quite happily, didn't have an issue.
Look at me being a happy camper. Fuck yeah. Hello world, I'm a happy camper.
I wouldn't recommend the XT for long journeys. I mean, I know it's not really made for that. It's made for probably bopping around town, being a bit of a commuter bike and doing some basic off-road stuff. I wouldn't recommend it for long journeys, but can it do it? Yeah, sure it can. Yeah. It likes to cruise at between 45 and 55. That's where it's happiest, I think.
Now I'm holding up traffic. I think this is a 55 area, and I'm doing like 52, and I can see in my rear view we've got it looks like a truck and a car. There's probably a few more bits and pieces sitting there behind me as well. I'm sure they're very annoyed at me, but I'm sorry. It's a 250 and it's absolutely loaded down with my shit. So yeah, it's not going to go very fast. And it doesn't go very fast anyway.
In fact, I did open it up at one point and just pegged it just to see how fast it would go. And with my fat ass on it and all my stuff, very limited wind, it wasn't that windy that day, I got 73 miles an hour indicated on the speedometer. The only thing I would caution on those big roads is when you get some of these large trucks come past you, these large semis, because the bike isn't particularly heavy, despite having my ass on it, it will get blown around a bit. And I did find that. And I found that in strong winds as well. You know, you're riding along and the bike's at this angle just to compensate for the wind. And sometimes you get that with the semis as well. As the semis come past you, you get blasted across the lane that you're in a little bit. It's if you know it's coming, it's okay. If it takes you by surprise, it might be a problem. But that's the only issue I've had with it. The brakes, they've been fine. It brakes very well, actually. I mean, it's only got that small single front rotor and a small single rear rotor, and it brakes just fine. I don't have a problem with the braking. Braking distance is fine. The brake feel is good. The brakes are bedded in over the past 500 miles and it seems to be great. I don't have any criticism. Likewise with the chain drive, that seems fine. One thing I might look at experimenting with is the front chain drive sprocket. I might change the sprocket to a different tooth count just to see if I can take some of that twitchiness out of first, and maybe give it a slightly higher cruising speed. Other than that, I'm not going to mess with it, I don't think. So I haven't had to adjust the chain. I'm sure they adjusted it when they did the service, but I haven't adjusted it. And it's one of the things on my list to do over the next few weeks is take a look at, see if the chain needs an adjustment. I don't think it does at this point, but that's one thing I need to take a look at. Fuel economy. Let's talk about fuel for a minute. It has a 2.5 gallon tank. It doesn't give you that much range. I reckon that on a run, like the run I did last weekend, you're getting about 66 to the gallon. That's what I calculated out after my last fuel stop. I was getting 66 to the gallon. Outside of that, I mean, it doesn't use a lot of fuel, but because it's only got a 2.5 gallon tank, that limits your range. So if you're getting 66 to the gallon or 60 to the gallon, let's say, fuel light's going to come on at about 2 gallons gone, so you're getting about 120 mile range out of it. It's not bad considering it's a small bike. It's not terrible. But if you're wanting to do some ADV, you know, some adventure riding, if you're wanting to do a BDR or something like that, you need to make sure you've got extra fuel with you. I have like a 1 liter fuel bottle that I have some fuel in. That's not going to get me very far, but it might get me far enough to get to a fuel station or something. But I don't carry a lot of extra fuels. Okay, so now let's talk about tires a little bit. Fine. Nothing to say about the tyres. They work fine on road and they work fine off road. I think they're 50-50 tyres on this thing. One thing I will say about the bike's on-road performance, and I don't know if this is to do with the tyres, the single-cylinder engine, a combination of both, but it can be a little buzzy in the handlebars. Not that bad. Certainly not enough to cause numbness in my fingers, but it is buzzy. It can get a little buzzy. And that's something to watch. So if you're going to use this on-road more than off-road, maybe get a different set of tires. I'm still going to be using this off-road quite a lot for practice, so I'm keeping the tires as they are for now. But I don't see that changing. But if I was going to be doing some long distance work with the bike and I was going to be on the highways for a bit, I might change the tires to 25-75 off-road on-road ratio tire. I don't know what that would be. I don't have any recommendations because I haven't done it, but that might be something I was doing if I was using it more on-road than off-road. But for the off-road stuff right now, the tires it's got perfectly good, and they work fine on-road too. The mirrors are actually really good. I like the mirrors. I've got them set so I can see well behind me with both the left and the right mirror. They're really good, and I don't get a lot of vibration up through the mirrors. That buzziness in the handlebars, I can feel it in my fingers, but doesn't seem to translate to the mirrors. So I find the brake pedal a little on the small side sometimes. I have to hunt for it. The gear shifter is fine, the brake levers are fine, the various controls, and there aren't that many of them because it's a very basic bike, but the stop switch is fine. One thing I do find awkward is reaching the ignition key with my gloves on, but that might be because I've got a lot of crap bolted to the handlebars. I'm trying to fix that, but that can be a little awkward, but everything else seems to be fine. One thing I will note, the indicators do not cancel. Now, the normal thing is use the indicator, then press the indicator button to cancel the indicator. Sometimes that doesn't work on this thing. You got to press it just right to get it to cancel. So I've had my phone on my quad lock, and that meant I haven't been able to see the indicator light on the dash, and so I've been riding down the street, and you'll see this in the ADV training video. I'll be riding down the road, and that indicator is still on, still flashing, and has been for miles. That's something I have to watch. So be careful with the indicators on these things. The indicators work just fine, but they don't self-cancel. You have to cancel them manually, and if you don't catch that button just right, you may not actually cancel it, may not realize you haven't cancelled it. But yeah, if you want a basic dual sport, basic dirt bike, if you want a commuter bike, if you want just something for bopping around town on, this is a good bike for that, and I think it's worth the money. It seems to be pretty simple, straightforward, easy to handle, easy to ride, it's easy to maintain, and as a beginner bike, I think it's a good one. Are there others out there that I would say compete with it? Absolutely. The KLX 230, the KLX 300 from Kawasaki, good options. The Honda CRF 300L is also a good option. The 300 Rally might also be a good option, but that's a little more expensive because it's got a little more on it, but still a good bike, easy to run, easy to use. There's a reason that they're hard to get, is because as soon as they appear, people buy them. It's the same with the Yamaha. Occasionally you'll see them come up for sale in the dealers, but they go fairly quickly. A lot of people like these bikes. They're very versatile, and so they go fairly quickly. So to wrap up, is it a good bike? Yes. Do I like it? Yes. Is it worth the money? Yes. Are there issues with it? Maybe. Time will tell on that. We'll see how that goes. But would I recommend this to an experienced rider? Yeah, sure. Would I recommend this to an inexperienced rider? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great little bike. With that, I'll wrap this up. I will say to you all, have fun, enjoy yourself, be safe, don't die. See you soon.
I like this little bike. It's quite buzzy. I get a little tinkle in the handlebars occasionally, but I really like it. It's funny. It's not fast. It's literally slow as fuck. Doesn't go on the highways because it really can't. I mean, it's 19 horsepower, so not very powerful at all.